Miss Wendy. Miss Wendy, how long was that one?
21 minutes. 20 minutes.
We're not terribly off. Good morning, Mr. Hyatt.
Good morning.
Curtis, how are you this morning?
Good morning. Good.
Good morning.
Good morning. Today, we have roughly 30 minutes set aside. That's fluctuating because we'll make sure we get your questions and allow you to answer your questions. Ms. Wendy White, our HR director, will be asking those questions. At 25 minutes, she's going to let me know. That just helped give us a gauge of time. And we ask that you use the microphone. You can hold it, leave it in the stand, whatever's more comfortable to you. And if you're ready, we'll get started.
Yes, sir.
All right. Go ahead, Ms. White.
The first question is,
explain what you believe the role of the Washington County Administrator should be.
As the administrator, I think the important part of it is, to me, is that you utilize all the tools in your toolbox, that you work with every one of your department heads and all your leaders to ensure that things are going the way the board wants them to go. So through effective communication, you're going to do that. You're going to talk to each one of them, you're gonna set the guidelines, you're gonna give them the direction to go, and then you're gonna follow up with that. And then it's the operation of daily business. Every day, looking at ways that you can either cut back or save the county money or save the citizens or the taxpayers' money. That's the main job for the administrator, applying what you guys want. So when you want this county to go a direction, that's his job at that point in time, is to lead the county in that direction.
As County Administrator, what would you do to gain the public's trust and change the way people view local government?
Good question. Be accessible. That's the most important thing. A lot of times you can't solve every problem, but sometimes people just want to be heard. So if you're accessible to the public, you meet with them, you talk to them, I think you can regain their trust in that form and fashion. Being there, being open, honest, and everybody loves to use the word transparent. So that is the key. And standing on your morals. Don't change. Don't tell them something. If you don't know the answer, tell them I don't know, but let me find out for you. That's the biggest thing.
Okay.
Explain your leadership style and tell us how many employees you have supervised in your current or past roles.
All right, so let's go through the past roles. After 20 honorable years in the United States Navy, I was then assigned to Department of Nursing Services. 9 clinics, over 300 staff members at that point in time. So very important in a leadership role because basically I worked right up under the boss. I guess you could call it like a deputy director in the civilian sector. So my style of leadership was to make sure that all 9 clinics were ran appropriately and that we were doing what we're supposed to do. We were following all rules and regulations set by the United States government at that point in time. So little example is when I got there, there was a huge complaint. We've all been in doctor's offices. We've all sat there and 10 minutes goes by, your appointment goes on. You start to get a little agitated, 15 minutes into it, you're really getting agitated to it. So what I did was, as I went down, I said, hey, look, quick solve to the problem to stop the complaints is notate when people check in, what time their appointment is. If it goes 5 minutes beyond, get up, walk out, talk to the patient, tell them what's going on. Hey, we're running behind, we're short-staffed, whatever it is. Well, that kind of opened Pandora's box because now you have to go back and look at the data and go, is this an anomaly or is this consistency that's going on? And what seems to be the problem? So what that led to was me going down there, getting with the staff, getting with the physician, and then finding out that these were more complicated exams and they took longer than the normal matrix that we had. So what we had to do was go back and change the scheduling process. That bleeds over into the county. You have to look at your processes to make sure that they're effective and that you're getting the biggest bang for your buck, or the citizens are, I should say.
Okay.
As county administrator, you will answer to 5 board members which have individual priorities and thoughts on how to move our county forward. How would you navigate working with all 5 board members?
Again, we go back to the effective communication portion of it. I think you have to effectively communicate to each one and provide them with the best available information at the time, so that when they come in here, they can make the most informed decision, because that decision is going to affect the county, whether it's a policy for staff members, whether it's an ordinance that's set forth, and you have to prioritize each one of them. But I think that if you talk to each individual one of them and you tell them, Ms. Marquez is looking to do this, and I talked to the other 4, that doesn't sound like a bad idea, I got this on the books, okay, then maybe we can prioritize at that time without breaking the beautiful sunshine law. I think that we have to work together effectively and then, put those policies into effect and manage that. What is the high priority for each one of them? And then what's the high priority out of those things? Most of it is roads. That is the priority.
Describe your approach to transitioning into the county administrator role, especially when it comes to earning the trust of the staff, commissioners, and the public.
I think you have to go into it with an open mind and an open ear, and you have to listen. I don't think you just run in there like a bull in a china shop. There's a lot of people that want to do that. They want to run in, throw Hail Marys and change everything all at once, thinking that they're doing it. And I think that you start to lose staff by that way. And I've always said this. I've said this to Mr. Pettis a million times. I've said to Mr. Massey. People will work harder and for less money if they feel appreciated. And I think that you have to do that. I think you have to make sure that your staff feel appreciated. Now, are there times when you're going to have to make cuts? There are. And people are going to lose their job. But we're in the business of running the county. That's what we're here for. So that happens at times. You hope you don't get to that. But what you do then is you're going through your budget again and looking, where can I make cuts to save this? Or what can we do to cut back so we don't lose the position? It's a continuous revolving door.
Okay.
Walk us through your process for preparing an annual operating budget.
Again, I think that when you look at the budget, you have to have, and excuse my French, you have to have all the players at the table. When you look at this budget for this county, it's to fund 5 constitutional officers and keep your roads open. That's the main purpose of the budgets. So if you have all those people at the table, I think you got more minds looking at it, and then they get to see what each one of them wants, instead of it being an individualized thing. Well, the sheriff may not know that Renee needs 5 new vehicles, so maybe he can find a place to cut so we can shift that around so she can get those vehicles. If you do it individualized, it doesn't seem like it's effective to me. I think that you need everybody at the table. There's great minds out there. They may see something that you don't see. You have to use all the tools that you have in front of you, and those tools are your people. You can't go into it thinking that you just got it all wrapped up. And there's the needs, and then there's the wants. The needs are the priority. You have to fund the needs first, then the wants can come after that. And I think that effectively talking and communicating with those people throughout the year, and then you have to get with Ms. Lorabelle, and there's always the unfunded mandate from the state. We all know that comes sailing down at the last minute. It's trying to get ahead of that by staying in touch with those people in Tallahassee that potentially might know that those are coming down, whether it's pay raises for you guys, pay raises for constitutional officers, whatever the unfunded mandate is. It's trying to stay in front of that so that you have that buffer in your budget to take care of those things.
What is your familiarity with programs and funding sources that small fiscally constrained counties like ours rely on?
Grants. There's a lot of grants out there, and then we rely a lot on grant money. That's for sure. We look, I mean, you can do the half-cent sales tax. The county's allowed that and stuff like that, but you're trying to not push it over onto your citizens, basically. You're trying to stay away from that and be as little as possible. So I think when you look at the grants, we have a grants guy, I think he's here, and our grants lady is here also. You have to work effectively with them and find the grants that are low cost to the county, but benefit the county the most. I think that's what we're looking at. When you look at a match for a grant, where are we at with that? Can we really fund it? Again, these are the wants versus the needs things. And then whatever the low-cost grant is, if we don't have a lot in the pot, but we get a big on the other end of it, that's a great grant, and I think we need to move forward with things like that. Again, that's y'all's decision. Those things should be brought to you, but you should be given all that information at that time so you can make the most informed decision.
Okay.
What long-term priorities would you set for a small county like ours with limited resources?
Sorry, coming from a medical background, I'm gonna be honest with you. EMS is a priority. I mean, it's a huge priority. I mean, you know, you have the golden hour. A lot of our citizens are, I'm not gonna say elderly, because I'm old myself, but we're all getting up there. And the distance it takes, I think we need to focus on those things for those services that we can provide that save lives throughout. Whether that's through the sheriff's department, fire department, EMS, it's to grow those things as we need those. And then to get with each individual one of you guys and then to figure out what is your priority for the county moving forward in the next 3 to 5 years. Where do you see the county in 3 to 5 years? Can we obtain that goal by working together? And am I the guy to help you get to that process? Yes.
Okay.
Describe a situation where you had to address an ethical concern within your organization.
Wow. 20 years in the military, not a whole lot of ethical issues going on there. I can give you one that actually happened in my office. A young man from South Florida that called, said young, older gentleman wanted to give me his property. Said he was dying and he didn't want it. It was here in Sunny Hills. It was a lot in Sunny Hills. I was like, sir, can't do that. I said, now, you can go to AMVETS and they can do a draw for it or something like that, but I can't take your property. And I think that stands on, when you're dealing with people like that, you have, the morality comes into that play. You have to play into, I'm going to stand on my ground for what's right. I'm not going to do what's wrong because somebody's not looking, because wrong always comes out. I'm going to do what's right. And I think that that's a teaching tool that you need to use for all of your staff members and your leaders also.
Okay.
What are your core values and which one is the most important to you?
Work ethic, that's going to be my core value. And I can tell you that because I'm up here for an interview. I took the day off, and somebody came to that window and they need to get signed up for a VA healthcare, and I told them to be back at 12. That's when I figured we'd be done in here. So that is a core value to me, is my work ethic, and then my honesty. I'm not going to lie to you. You ask me, I'm going to tell you the truth. That's the bottom line. I got nothing to hide from anybody.
Okay.
Why do you want to be the county administrator for Washington County?
I've been here 15 years. 15 years. I've been here longer than anybody sitting on this board and longer than your current county administrator. I've watched this county from day one when I walked in here, and for 7 years, we didn't receive a pay raise whatsoever at all because the county obviously is fiscally restrained. We went through some rough periods, and I stood the ground, and there's a lot of employees that have stood the ground, and I'm trying to advance myself at the same time. And is it about money? Sure. I'm not gonna lie to you. But is it about taking the next step and helping this county move forward and helping the citizens and bringing back, as we said, the trust and the transparency there? I think I've shown that already. Mr. Corbin, you know I took care of your constituent in your neighborhood. I do that. I don't just do veteran services. I've done animal control. Obviously, I'm a big guy, so who are you going to send? Yeah, that would be me. I go and help animal control. I've helped just about every department that's here, to be honest with you. Code enforcement, Katie, love her to death. She's new. I get calls from her all the time. Hey, what would you do here? I think that's the reason, and it's really the employees. It really is. I want to see the best for the employees, the best that we can give them with what we have, and the same for the citizens. I want the citizens to walk through the doors, and when they leave, I want them to say that was the best service I ever received. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for it. They pay for it, they should get it. We've all been there. I'll pay for a great steak, but I won't come back if you got bad service. And I think that's the thing. I want to see those things change, and I want those people to be able to say that this county provides that to them.
Do you have any questions for the board? And this is the last question.
Is that my last question?
That's your last question.
It's kind of a thought-provoking question without an answer. It's really what it is, because I don't want to put anybody on the spot by no means. I want you to think of your top 2 attributes that you want in a county administrator. Then I want you to think, did I meet or exceed those goals? No answer needed. And the only answer that I need from you is, was it covered in the topics today that we spoke about? Did we talk about your top 2, Mr. Corbin?
Say that again.
Did we, that's all right. Did we cover the top 2 things that you were looking for in an administrator in the conversation that we had today and the questions? Or is there something else you need to ask me? If you got something, say it.
Well, just since you singled me out, it would have been nice, that, you know, the attorneys kind of suggested we do this format, so.
Yes, sir.
There was different ways of doing this, different counties do it different ways, so.
Yes, sir.
In some ways, I think it would have been better if we could have
One-on-one. Yes, sir.
one-on-one.
I agree.
But, so, I mean,
No, I wasn't singling you out. I got the head nod from Mr. Griffin.
but,
I was just moving down the line.
you know, but instead of the same questions from, I don't know, it'd been nice if each commissioner could have done that, but this is as transparent as it gets, so.
I would agree with you there, sir.
So to answer your question, I mean, a lot of my questions are answered with these
Okay.
questions.
Awesome. Appreciate that. Mr. Pettis?
A lot of my questions are answered, yes, sir.
Ashlyn?
I was able to submit some questions, so I feel like all of my questions were answered. But on number 3, you told us that you ran 9 clinics, but that was kind of a lengthy question. How many employees?
It's over 300, I said. It's actually 351, I believe.
Okay, thank
It's a
you.
huge amount of staff. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Mr. Brock?
You answered all mine.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate it.
And then my last and final question, again, no answer, thought-provoking. Do you see me as a guy that helps you move this county in the direction that you want in the next 3 to 5 years to achieve those goals? Just want you to think about it, and that's it for me. I appreciate your time. I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
sir.
Appreciate it.
next candidate will be Mr. James Williams. Huh? No, what'd you say, Miss Wendy?
That was 18 minutes.
Okay. Right back on schedule.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Williams, for being here today. One of our commissioners stepped out for a restroom break, so it'll be just a minute. But our Human Resources Director will ask the questions today, and at any point in time you need clarification from her, please don't hesitate to get that clarification. I know this is kind of a nerve-wracking situation. Please relax. Just make sure you use the microphone if you want to sit up and closer to it, or if you want to hold it. Either way is fine with us. So if you're ready to go, we'll get started.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Ms. Wendy.
So your first question is, explain what you believe the role of county administrator should be.
The role of the county administrator, work closely with the board, help oversee the departments, oversee the policies and legislation that the board creates and puts in place. Work closely with the directors, watch the budget closely, make sure everything's being, all the operations are being handled appropriately, and so forth.
Okay.
As county administrator, what would you do to gain the public's trust and change the way people view local government?
Transparency being number one. Try and keep people informed of things that are going on. Have an open door policy. Maybe hold monthly meetings with the public, little town halls or something to help inform different publics around the counties and the different municipalities. Work closely with the municipalities and the people within the municipalities to let them know what's going on. Probably put out like a project list, upcoming projects, status of projects, road projects and so forth, and that's big in small counties and recreation projects and so forth.
Explain your leadership style and tell us how many employees you have supervised in your current or past roles.
I've got an open door policy in the job I'm in now. I don't micromanage. I believe people are put in positions that they are in because they were deemed the best qualified for the positions, and should let them take care of their responsibilities. Delegate and elevate kind of situation in this role, you know, to make sure, but be there for support when they do need help. And, you know, communication's big in supervising and managing employees. I know, let's see, can you repeat the second part of that?
Sure. Tell us how many employees you have supervised in your current or past roles.
Currently, we have approximately 60-plus employees now throughout the departments within our county that I'm overseeing at this time.
Okay.
As county administrator, you will answer to a board of 5 members, which have individual priorities and thoughts on how to move our county forward. How would you navigate working with all 5 board members?
Communication, again, being key, of course, being careful with sunshine law and so forth, you know. manage that from day to day now in my current role. Communicate with each commissioner daily or weekly, the projects that they have in their sight or vision of what they want to move forward with. Kind of get that in the format and discuss it in public meetings, you know, and just bring it all to the table. Have the board try to prioritize projects throughout the county. I know each district and things where we work now is, you got different visions sometimes, but come together as a group. Just communication being key with working with each one.
Describe your approach to transitioning into the county administrator role, especially when it comes to earning the trust of the staff, commissioners, and the public.
Getting to know the departments, the department directors, you know, on a more personal level, seeing how departments operate, spending time within them departments, with each individual commissioner also, and getting to know each other and you know, the visions that they have set place, that, like I say, I have an open door policy, meet with staff regularly, and just try to get good discussions going, good visions, ask them for their input of what they see and what they may see things in their department that may need to be changed and move forward in a different direction. And you know, just listen to them and understand where they're coming from. And then, you know, just communication, again, being key throughout the whole process.
Walk us through your process for preparing an annual operating budget.
Okay, so starting early in the calendar year, put together a budget calendar, dates and deadlines and the responsible parties. Get that calendar out to everybody, constitutionals, the commissioners, department heads, so forth. Start having the internal meetings probably around March. We start having internal meetings with the budget, look at the forecast, putting together. By then, you can kind of see where you're going to end up at the end of the year, get a good idea where you're going to end up at, and start working out the internal budget request, the wish list, you should say, from the departments. Get them together, and when trim starts, you know, in June and then July, start having workshops with the board, initial workshops off a preliminary budget, going through the process of the wish list and trying to iron out some of them details ahead of time, and then, of course, following trim all the way through to the final budget hearing.
What is your familiarity with programs and funding sources that small fiscally constrained counties like ours rely on?
Very familiar with the programs. A lot of programs, SCRAP and SCOP and LAP projects with DOT. Work closely with them currently. A lot of different, through FERDAP grants and a lot of them grant opportunities there. I think we're managing right now approximately 10 different grants in our small county that we have now. Grants that range from $15,000 up to, you know, $2.4 million that we was able to secure. So for fiscally constrained counties, there's other opportunities out there. Some of them more difficult to get on the federal level, but sometimes they're worth chasing, and sometimes they may not be worth chasing. You know, you don't want to bring something to the county that's going to cost you more headache and money in the long run than what you're trying to accomplish. So,
What long-term priorities would you set for a small county like ours with limited resources?
After getting to know each commissioner and your vision, and also the vision and goals for the county in a whole, I see small counties like this finding a way to do smart growth while protecting your rural heritage and, you know, working with the community. You can never make everybody completely happy, and I understand that, and I know y'all do too, you know, in y'all's role that y'all deal with day to day. But finding that happy medium somewhere that where you can do smart growth, have the revenue to provide the necessary services to the citizens that everybody expects that we should be providing as a county government.
Describe a situation where you had to address an ethical concern within your organization.
I've been on both sides of the fence with that, and it's first you gather the facts. Don't jump to conclusions too quick sometimes because, you know, we're dealing with, you know, in this line of work, you know, there's a lot of different perspectives and situations. As a manager, I've always took a step back. You know, I believe in that three sides to every story kind of thing. There's their side, and then there's the truth, and find that truth, you know, and just get all your facts together before you make any harsh decisions. Also following the county policy and employee handbook and so forth, if you may have to have an employee step aside and say, hey, man, they want you to take a couple of admin days off while we figure this out. Depends on the situation.
What are your core values and which one is most important to you?
Several core values, I think integrity, honesty, transparency in this line of work are the most important core values that you need to have and operate by.
Why do you want to be the county administrator for Washington County?
I've got a passion for the rural communities, and I love what I do. I like working with the community. I like working in the smaller country-style communities. I get a lot of pleasure out of helping people in ways, getting new ball fields, getting new roads paved, you know, to see that in people in need and you be able to bring something to them and to a bunch of people at one time. I enjoy doing that. I enjoy fighting for money. I enjoy good debates. I like going and having them debates with our delegation and trying to accomplish things that have not been accomplished yet, and just keep setting that goal every year, you know, on the next level, and just keep trying to do the best you can for the community.
And the final question, do you have any questions for our board?
Not really. I would like to thank y'all for the opportunity to interview. I appreciate that greatly. I like to sit, and I think that's very appropriate for this type of position, having it in the public forum. I mean, because this job is 100% transparent, and you need to make sure you find the right person for it. And just again, thank y'all.
Thank you for being
Thank
here
you.
today.
Thank you.
And, I'll say thank you also for being understanding with us having to reschedule and working that out, so.
Yes, sir.
All right, very good, thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
All right, so, in our books, we have our, ranking sheet to bring back, tomorrow at, 1:30 PM. And, we will make our decisions in that meeting. Is there any other questions? Concerns?
Sounds good to me.
Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Motion and second.